Welcome to Forever Unbreakable. Will Koken. Tonight I am joined by Jason Braun and the Killer Bee, Billy Pinebrook, in the house. We've also got Cody in the back corner. He might pop his face on. But the reason why we're doing this quick record, right now it is 8:30, 8:29 to be exact.
Past our bedtime.
PM. So right now we are, 10 and a half hours from the start line. 10 and a half hours from towing the start line. I've got Jason is going to carry 100 pounds as well. As far as he's going to carry it the whole way. Not sure if he's going to keep up or not, or if he's going to just ditch me and go ahead. We're not really sure how it's going to unfold, but he's not trying to break the world record, so it should be a little bit more casual for him. And then Billy is going to have a bunch of the nutrition on him, the water, things like that. So the last time that the Salcom was rucked by us, we carried, what did we carry, guys?
It was like 35, 40 pounds.
Yeah.
What we planned on, but then the weather kind of made it a little more.
Yeah, 35, 40 pounds before the weather decided to take residence in our packs. So,
because it rained for the first, it rained from the moment that we got out of the vehicle. Or actually, we met up at Billy's old house on Thorndale, representing.
Yeah.
Thorndale.
And so we got out of Billy's, we left Billy's house and it was raining. So we walked there with our packs on in the rain and we didn't waterproof them because we were idiots.
Dude, and it was a deluge. That's what you say, right? I don't know. I'm an idiot, but it was rain. I mean, rain is a shower. Yeah. This was sheets of rain.
Yeah, it was torrential downpour, could have been flood hazard warning bullshit.
And this idea for the world record started a long time ago. We considered doing the world record last year, and that was all we could talk about at the start line. What if this had been the year? Yeah. Then there's no way it would not have worked out.
We couldn't have ran this pace. And it's one of the things that you and I had talked about over the last week, what do we do if it rains?
Well, you talked about it.
Yeah, I talked about it, and you were like, calm down, relax.
So what's the weather? Have you seen the forecast? What's it look like?
Yeah, it's 64 degrees is the high. Winds northeast at 10 to 12 miles an hour.
Nice and cool.
Cloudy.
So, hope it stays. That way.
So the weather is shaping up to be really nice. But last year was a mess. And like Billy said before, rookie mistake. None of us waterproofed our stuff. And I would like to think that we are all veteran ruck marchers. Once you guys say that you could call us somewhat of a veteran under a pack.
We've all got a few miles under our belts, I think. Enough where we should have known better.
Experienced amateur, at least.
Yeah, exactly.
And if it wasn't dumb enough that we didn't actually waterproof our packs, I had a pillow holding the weights that were in my pack against my frame. So go home and dip a pillow in some water and tell me how that feels. Yeah, it didn't go well.
So we started with 35 pounds last year, and I figure that we were upwards of 50, 55 pounds.
Probably 50 pounds.
And then it started to dry out, because after an hour it stopped raining, and our feet were just mush and wrecked. But it started to dry out, and we got back down probably towards 45 pounds. Mm. So now, Jason, for yourself too, double the weight this year. What are you thinking right now? 10 and a half hours before I toe the line.
It's strange. I don't know why, but I'm less nervous now for both of us than I was even yesterday. And
I wish I could say that.
There's nothing we can do at this point. The packets are in. You've done an insane amount of preparation. I wish we could record upstairs where you have packets spread across all of your countertops, all the information that you need to get to Guinness World Record to accomplish the record, and also just the logistics of trying to get all this stuff involved. Billy, the witnesses, guys that are carrying flags for us, just so we have that Old Glory to chase behind. That's going to be a big motivator. So
yeah, it's crazy, the support that is around this, and the team that was here tonight. There was probably 15 people here tonight to help out with making sure that everything's done logistically right and stuff, so that the attempt can be validated. It's a big deal.
It's motivating, man. That's what you do for people. You've got all these people that are jumping on board with this, and they're not doing it because there's some pot of gold at the end of this rainbow. They just want to see you accomplish something amazing, and this is something else.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy right now. This is stupid. I don't even know. It's raw. So, Billy, spinning it over to you. What are you thinking right now? 10 and a half hours away, and the responsibilities that you've got, making sure that I don't get stupid out there and try and run myself into the ground. making sure that I actually take fluids in and stuff. What's going through your head right now?
So kind of opposite of what Jason was saying. Jason was, a little bit more relaxed, not as much as pressure, but I feel like there's more pressure, even though I'm carrying less weight this time, just because it's such an important role to success of this mission, I guess you could say. So I'm nervous. I know physically it's not going to be tough. Well, 26.2 miles is tough on anything, but
Yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
who am I kidding? But I'm ready physically for it, but I just got to keep my head in the game and make sure everything goes smoothly for you guys.
Smoothly
support.
can be expected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the
Because with any plan, you can make a plan all you want, but something happens and you got to react.
Drop that Mike Tyson quote, somebody.
Yeah. All week, Will's been throwing that at us. It says everybody's got a plan until you get punched in the mouth, and there's no getting around. In 26.2 miles, carrying 100 pounds on your back, you're gonna get punched in the mouth
Numerous times.
Yep, it's gonna happen. Things are gonna go wrong. I hear ultra marathoners all say that there's no such thing as a race that goes well start to finish. It's just a matter of managing the disasters. And I don't know. Hopefully there won't be any disasters, but it's a lot. It's just a lot of miles, a lot of steps. What's a marathon typically? 50,000 roughly?
Yeah,
50,000 steps,
40,000,
something like that. So
50,000. And we take more under ruck because you got to take smaller steps. You try and stride it out, so to speak. Mm-hmm. Your running gait is smaller when you walk than it is when you're running because you don't get that, whatever it is, distance of carry through on your jump. So it's going to be a lot of steps tomorrow because we're going to walk a lot. And that's the thing too is there's a lot of importance in guys like Billy and the flag bearers. When we're walking, we need to walk with a purpose. And I know as soon as you stop rucking, you start walking slowly, and they got to pick that back up and get myself moving at that fast walk again. We can't have the slow walks where we're back on the block, hanging out, chillaxing, relaxing.
One of the things in the training rucks that we did that it occurred to me that the rest of the marathons that we've done under ruck, we do that. You run however long we decide that we're going to run, and then when you pull up and walk, it's and you start slowing down, and you're not as you said, you're not walking with a purpose.
Especially later in the day, round 20, when you start to walk every time after a run.
Because it feels so good to just walk.
And walk slow. Bird.
Yeah.
Oh, nice birdie.
So that's been the biggest difference in the training that we've done together, I think, is that when we slow down to walk,
we walk with a purpose.
Yeah, you're walking fast.
Yeah, immediate engagement. You know? And that's going to be a big thing for the sport guys is they've got to, that's got to be one of their focuses is get walking fast, make them walk fast. And keeping the camera on me the whole time because you got to video the whole thing. For me tomorrow, I've almost got the easy job. I feel finally tomorrow is the easy part of the whole thing. The journey and all the miles logged. Those are hard miles logged alone a lot of times or with a single friend or two friends. But there's no crowd. There's no atmosphere. You don't get the big adrenaline dump. You don't get, the announcing and all that stuff. You don't get a finish line. You just finish a run for the day.
Right. And then usually go do more work.
Yeah.
That's your reward for getting done.
Exactly. And, so there's no accolades, nothing's being promoted, and now it's race day. So now tomorrow the people who have the biggest responsibilities are all of you guys, as acting as witnesses and videotaping and doing all the nutrition side and all that. All I gotta do is put one foot in front of the other. Tomorrow's simple for me. And I'm so fucking nervous. And it's the simplest thing. All I got to do, one foot in front of the other for 26.2 miles. It's that simple. I've got nothing. But I'm nervous as fuck.
I've been saying the same thing. And I keep telling myself, hey, hard work was the last few months, all the training, all the, grinding out these workouts. But that's total bullshit. There's nothing easy about
no, it's hard as fuck. Let's be honest. The honest answer is it's hard as fuck.
Yeah.
But
don't forget stupid.
Yeah. It's also stupid. Hey, what we should have started this video with was, do not try this at home.
A disclaimer, a warning that flashes across the screen.
Warning, Forever Unbreakable says, do not try this at home. I'm just kidding. We wouldn't be Forever Unbreakable if we told you not to try this at home.
Oh, and definitely,
put on a ruck and
definitely
go try
try
this
it.
shit.
Yeah, definitely
absolutely.
try it.
Talk about the first time we put on the 100 pounds.
Yeah, for anybody that hasn't heard the story, the short version is that I thought I was going to be Billy Badass and carry a 100-pound ruck I believe it was actually the ruck march was when we first decided to try to carry the heavy pack. And I literally made it from my shop to about, I don't know, maybe 200 meters down the road and turned around and went home, and I never wanted to look at it again. So it was legitimately less than a quarter mile before I tapped out. A quarter mile.
Yeah.
So under what circumstances, what idiot at that point says, well, quarter mile is too far, but a marathon, that's doable. But,
Yeah, no,
hey,
exactly.
here we are.
So the next thing that I want to do now is bring Cody on in real quick. So Cody, everybody smile at Cody quick while he takes a
Yes,
sip.
quit hiding, Cody.
But so Cody's the scale guy. So he's responsible tomorrow for making sure that the scale and all pieces to go with the scale are ready, rocked, and set to go. So Cody, tell us how nervous you are for tomorrow.
Cody's been drinking.
Not nervous. I'm excited. This is another one of your ventures that I get to back you up in and be there for the support. And I don't know. It's not being cocky, but you put the work in. And like everything, when you put the work in, you get the results you want. Like, you've done everything.
Yeah.
So it's, you just got to show up tomorrow and do it. So that makes it easy on me. I just want to be there to make sure I'm putting my points and I'm where I need to be so that you don't have to think about it and gets done.
Yeah. And that's the big thing. Like one of the things that Tommy told me was the hay is in the barn. So like the training's done, trust the training and believe in it. So like Cody just said, the work is done. When I'm out there, I've got to believe that I put in the time and the work is done. And it's going to pay off.
Hey, talk about your taper. How's that been? What's it been like going from 50, 60-mile weeks
so
to
50,
running every
60
third day?
Yeah, running every third day is bullshit. Tapering makes you feel like you're falling apart. Like that you're losing all of your gains. And like having lifted weights before, we like gains. And now I have no gains in my arms because I'm running so much. And so you feel like you're like logging these 60-mile weeks and you're like, yeah, like I'm getting all these huge gains. I'm in shape. Like I'm crushing. My runs are awesome. And then you start the taper and it's like, ooh, this kind of hurts. And that kind of hurts. And I only gotten 35 miles this week. Like I need to do more, and so the taper sucks. Like the taper has left me crabby and like feeling like I'm not ready. It's added more nerves, but I know that it's what's got to be done.
I think there's a message there. I mean,
I know it's got to be done, so you got to do it.
Yeah, you get accustomed to doing all of this work. It doesn't get easy, but it gets to be a habit. Bad habits are easy to form. Good habits are harder, but they're tough to turn back from once you're on that train. I mean, that thing's been rolling for you for months, and
yeah,
it's hard to calm down now at this point.
It's crazy. Like we look back at it, this has really been a 17-month journey.
For sure. Hey, this is Billy's first time on.
It is.
Iron
Oh,
Man.
first time on the podcast.
Iron
Yeah,
Man.
let's talk
We
about
need to
what's
bring
next.
that.
Let's bring up what's next.
I want to
week.
make sure that we get a what's next into this one before it's over.
Don't we have to finish something first before we go?
No,
to what's
no,
next?
man.
No, there's
No.
always something next beforehand.
Yeah, there's
All
always
right.
something next, man.
There
And
is.
and I mean, like, so everybody knows this episode is 2 parts. So we've got part 1, which is the night before the world record, and then we're going to record part 2 either tomorrow before we go to the after party, record or not, and we're going to have the record.
You'll know the second the cameras come on if we didn't.
Yeah,
There's going to be a lot of hate in this room when it doesn't
there'll
happen.
be a lot of hate, but we'll be talking about it. And I can already tell you what the what's next will be if we don't get it. We're going to go try again.
Yeah, fact. Fact.
But so it's either going to be right after, before we go get our drink on, or we're going to have 8 weeks of no drinking and go get our drink on and come down here and record that episode. Or it's going to happen the next day when we're hungover. So continue to watch this video because you guys are going to find out. But Billy, talk to us about what's next.
So what's next? Iron Man, September 9th, Madison.
How do you feel about that? Are you more nervous about that or about tomorrow?
Right now in the moment, tomorrow. But in the scheme of things, it's still in the back of my mind, and it's just like after this is done, there's no like skipping a beat. Like it's continued training. It's more, wanting more, doing more, logging more miles. Like this is just kind of like a bump in the road where, I transitioned from the running and the biking to, putting on some miles with you or on my own. But yeah, this is just like a nice little break, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
The 3:45 a.m.
Doesn't
swimming.
feel like that.
Yeah. So talk about your swim. Like, how's your swim
My
coming
swim,
from
I
being
could-
a non-swimmer? You were a rock.
I was bad.
Like,
I mean,
I've
I
seen
floated a
non-swimmers.
little bit.
I've seen non-swimmers and I've seen rocks. You were a rock.
So I think we went to the Y the first time, my first swim, and I was just going to do like 25 meters, and I was slow, so slow, and I was winded by 25 meters, and, just working on technique and keeping all those things in the back of my mind of what I need to do and keeping that goal in the forefront of finishing the Ironman. And it's like, you got to put the work in. You have to go in and grind all the time.
Dude, that's what I tell people, man. It takes a ton of discipline. Like, when I was talking, what everybody's going to see on the episode before this one, which is going to launch here the day after the marathon, is Nicholas, who was 621 pounds. And he said this perfectly on his episode where he's like, motivation's fucking easy. It's easy to be motivated. It's hard to be disciplined to stay the course. Anybody can have the motivation to start something. Like, you can go out and start something tomorrow. Easy.
Yeah.
It's a month in that it's fucking tough. When we start and we're swimming now at 3:30, 3:45 in the morning, leaving the pool at 4:45 to go jump on a bike for an hour, just to go work an 8-hour day, and then come home and put something else in the afternoon, like, that's a grind. And it takes a shit ton of discipline after a couple of weeks to stay that course. There's a lot of times there's nobody there. You get to the pool by yourself, and you're just like, man, I hope somebody shows up because this just sucks.
Yeah.
And then you get on the bike and you go grind these miles. And, like, people don't see that. And it's awesome. But everybody wants and everybody sees that end result, but you've got to have the discipline to put in the work. And that's where you're at. Like, how much weight have you lost now?
I'm done 20 pounds
Yeah.
right now. So that's
Dude,
like
just
in the
shedding it off, man.
Past month. That's just changing diet and continuing to keep focused. And
Yeah. I mean, even Cody over here. Cody, how much weight did you lose so far?
Not that much.
But just by working on your diet, you lost what, like 10 pounds?
pounds.
Yeah, all on your face, but 10 pounds.
Great.
That's where he lost it all. That's what about his love handles. Like, he hasn't lost it there yet. I love you, Cody.
don't worry, Cody. I'm still working on mine too, man.
Yeah, it's a struggle, but, like, you stay disciplined, you stay true to the course,
Yep.
and you'll have the results you want. You will always, always, always have the results you want if you stay disciplined and true to the course.
Yep, and it helps. Getting results helps. I mean, it keeps you motivated. You
Yeah.
see, even just like if you're knocking off 10 seconds on like a run, or just seeing that progression, that improvement, it keeps you motivated.
Yeah,
to want more.
It's exciting, but you run into a point where you stop seeing progression, right? You hit that plateau.
Yeah.
And, like, then you're stuck with that option. Like, what do you do, right? Now I hit plateau. I definitely don't want to get up in the morning. The alarm's going off. I'm going to sleep through it today. I'll hit the snooze, or, like, maybe you got to change it up. But
Yeah.
you got to do something.
You touched on showing up at the gym in the morning and there's no one there, and how that can be demoralizing. But, man, that can be a motivator, too. There's something that's awesome about,
Yeah.
especially in the wintertime. I hate cold. I despise the cold. But when you get in your car to either head to the gym or go out on a run, and it's cold and it's dog shit outside, that 99% of the population's in their warm bed, and
Yeah.
you're out trying to get better. That feels good. And even if you're the only one, sometimes it feels better that you're the only one.
That's actually my favorite part about my ride to the gym in the morning, is noticing that not a single house has the lights on yet. And
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm better than you. I'm better than you. I'm better than you. And I'm like, I'd like to think that I'm a pretty humble guy, but it gets me motivated in the morning to know
Yeah.
that I'm working harder than everybody else that I see. Like, and that's what I thrive on. Like, are you willing to work as hard as I am? It's like one of those like a Tim Kennedy type thing where, like, you want to know that you've outworked everybody else
Yep.
that you could possibly encounter in your life.
Yep, and when you're on the way to the gym in the morning and it's 4 a.m. and there's not a single light on in your entire neighborhood, and you start feeling like you're a G, and that you really put in more work than anybody else, then you look at a guy like Tim Kennedy and you're like, oh fuck.
Man, that dude had to be there at 3:30.
Yeah, they're just
exactly.
doing so much more.
And that's what I love. Like, the other day I was
motivating.
at the gym, and Todd Trixie, just down the road, right, buddy Todd. I'm getting to the gym 3:30 in the morning. He's walking out of the gym at 3:30 in the morning. And I was like, dude, so you just pull an all-nighter and just show up? He's like, No, man, I couldn't sleep after like midnight, so I just got out of bed and came here and worked out for 2.5 hours. I was like, "You're my fucking hero."
it.
Like that pumps me up. I'm gonna go crush like even harder today
I just want to trip him on the way to
because
the
I
gym.
saw that. Like I was like, "You're already here, got your workout in, and you're going home to make breakfast." Like, I need to step my shit up. I need to push harder because you're already here.
Hey
Like,
man, hey, you gotta calm down. You gotta sleep tonight. Just
I ain't
I
sleeping
get
tonight.
getting all fired up, man.
I ain't sleeping tonight. There's no way I'm sleeping tonight.
Yeah, you and me both, brother.
So, anybody else got anything they wanna say for
No,
tonight
man.
before we wrap this up and continue on tomorrow? Cody, you wanna say any goodbyes to everybody before tomorrow? Anything you wanna shout out?
Come on, get your skinny face in here.
I wanna shout out to Cody because he's supported me time and time again. So Cody, jumping on the other camera.
My man.
Close the curtains.
Breaking
boy.
the set.
God, wrecking the view.
No, I'm excited.
So-
it's another one of your ventures.
If you move that curtain too much, people are gonna be able to tell we're in your basement.
They know. I told everybody. We're at the basement bar. Tomorrow we'll be drinking down here. I promise.
Yeah, facts.
See the rape stage back there.
Yeah. So can't help it.
Allegedly.
But yeah, I want to just thank all of you guys and everybody else who's supporting this, especially all the listeners and stuff too, supporting Forever Unbreakable, Fourth, who everything that I've done, you guys have continued to support me through everything. And I thank you, especially you guys on the other side of the mic over here.
Hey man,
Some of the closer friends, you guys know who you are.
I'm just gonna say right now, I do not accept that at all. I'm not accepting your thank yous because
no
I wouldn't be
choice.
involved in any of this. I mean, when we talked about the record and my effort to carry this weight, there's a bunch of people that were asking me why would I go through this without the reward, without that carrot, and that's bullshit. I mean, the reason I do it is because I got people like you in my life that are motivating, and what you've done for Billy and Cody and myself and a bunch of our other friends and people that that work for you in the Army, whatever, is remarkable. And we wouldn't be doing this if it wasn't for you. So no thank yous coming our way, man. Thank you for everything you do. And this is I can't wait to be a part of this tomorrow.
This is
As bad as it's gonna hurt,
brotherly
man.
love.
As bad as it's gonna hurt.
brotherly
Let's go get it.
All
You
right.
wouldn't be doing an
All right, turn the
Ironman.
cameras off. We gotta make out.
Let's
All
go.
right, let's go get it. Peace out till we resume here in a few minutes. All right, everybody, welcome back to Forever Unbreakable Part 2 of Episode 8, I believe it is, the world record episode. So, we can officially say that the world record has been...
Whoa. Say what?
Say what? You want to say it?
You want to make like a lot of suspense?
Okay, so the world
What do you smell right
record-
now? Have you smelled your hair? What do you smell right now?
It smells like champagne, bro.
It does smell like champagne.
And you want a champagne shower for one reason.
No, only one reason.
Success, man. Success. But success really is getting to the finish line. So Jason carried the whole 100 pounds the whole way as well, and also broke the old world record time. So both of us have officially beaten the existing world record.
But I didn't beat the existing world record was set 9 minutes before I crossed the line.
Yeah.
So all good, brother.
Dude, it was fucking wild. So let's talk about the start line.
No,
Right.
man, you talk about the start line.
All right,
You got to. I got to give you your shine here.
All
I mean, this is such a big deal, and I'm so fucking
I
proud
don't
of you,
even-
bro.
I don't even realize it right now.
Dude, I'm so fucking proud of
Like,
you.
I don't even realize
Sorry
it
for
right
the
now.
language, Mom, if you're listening, but god damn it, I'm fucking proud of you.
But we
You're
fucking
such a
did
stud.
it, man. We did it. So the start line was crazy. I was filled with adrenaline. I went out the gate at 11 mile. Like, I was flying, man. The wheels were off. Billy, jump on in. Billy's down here
Get
now.
in here,
so
Billy.
Get in the picture, Billy.
Billy smells the best of
So
all of us.
Billy actually showered before the podcast, which was against the rules.
Yeah.
Man, I
Yeah.
didn't know.
Yeah,
But you know
yeah.
what? I put a dirty shirt back on, so I still stink.
Perfect. Thank God.
okay.
Yeah, so we're all
It's still-
rocking. We're all rocking the Forever Unbreakable.
Yeah.
Represent.
Damn right.
But so Billy was helping us with all the support stuff, the food, the water, things like that. And so we started off. The first 5 miles was just let loose, stay somewhere under 13 minutes a mile average at the end of 5 miles. And we finished the 5 miles at a 12:30 pace. So we were, under 13, what we wanted, right? And
Yeah,
we
way
started-
under 13.
I don't think we were way under. 2.5 minutes under in total time for 5 miles. I don't think that's way under. Just 30 seconds a mile.
That's nothing.
So yeah.
Cody's in the house. Cody's bringing us
Yep.
cold beers.
It's been a while. The podcast is yet to see a beer on my side. It's seen Cody drink, but we already celebrated with the Guinness, as you can all see, Guinness. So we did that at the line.
And champagne. But
and PBRs.
I sprayed most of that at your head.
Yeah, and it was amazing.
Felt good.
So, so the start went good, and then we started clicking off these 14, 15 miles is what I wanted, and we were anywhere from 1350 to 1415. So we were there, and I'm glad that we did, because when I hit my issues at mile 18, 19-ish, it was a struggle fest. And as if you tuned into the Fourth Hua Facebook page, you'll see that I was burned out. And then after, somebody came and asked us about doing a group 100-mile one or 100-pound one, and Jason and I both looked at each other like, can't we just soak this in for a moment with all the champagne that's soaking into my skin? I just want to soak it in for a moment. But I agree, man. It's time. It's already time to look forward a little bit.
Yeah, this is in the past.
Done. This is done.
It's over.
So it's gonna make an awesome 20 minutes here, and then we need to start focusing on what's next.
For sure.
But let's
we
take 2
we
days
had
and suck this thing down.
we have to talk about the beginning of the race.
Yeah.
So Billy, tell us what your primary responsibility as the essentially the team captain was. What was what was the thing that Will himself specifically asked you to do?
To make sure that we kept pace and stick to the schedule.
Stick to the plan.
Stick to the plan. The plan is going to work. If we stick to the plan, there's going to be no issues. Got it.
Talk about sticking to the
Got
plan.
it.
Tell us how we did sticking to the plan.
So I also got did some interviews beforehand. One of the broadcasters asked me, what the biggest issue I thought would be, and I flat out told her, I was like, slowing him down. Like, no doubt about it. Like, that adrenaline's going to be going. The guy just is hungry and he wants it.
So that was your job.
I failed miserably.
I felt
to
hungry
start
the
out.
whole way.
Thanks, Coach.
I still feel hungry.
I
felt hungry the whole way.
So that was your job, and as we're leading up to this, I've given Will a couple of pep talks in my life before endurance events, and they all have kind of the same common theme. And this time, the biggest thing I told him the other day was just to put a leash on it. You got to calm down. You have to chill. And it was to a point where he said, "Actually, I'm going to have you lead for the first couple of miles." And I tried, but he went running past me like a freaking racehorse. So the other time was when Will decided to ruck the marathon at the end of an Ironman. And before that, I was leading up to it that week, I'm saying, Will, you need to save your legs on the bike. This is not the time for you to put in a fast bike time. You got to chill. It's going to feel like you're crawling, but run the bike at 15, 16 miles an hour and just take it easy. I run into Will maybe, 6 miles into the marathon course?
Yeah.
And
I was doing good at that point.
I joined him, and he's running with a ruck. And we also talked about not running, but he's running. So I ended up hooking up with him, and as soon as we slowed down a walk, I said, I'm like, how's it going so far? Your times are good. I'm like, and he says, yeah. I said, how'd the bike go? He goes, I fucking crushed it.
I PR'd my bike.
PR'd his bike. The guy can't slow down, man. He's just got all that fire in you.
Dude,
I love that about you, though.
It's a real issue. It is a real issue. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. So once we got dialed in, though, things got good for both of us. Like, everything started coming together a little bit. You were fucking with your ruck the whole time.
Oh, my ruck was fucked. I was just trying to keep my mouth shut and not distract from anything, but I couldn't help splurting out some expletives from time to time.
I'm not going to throw the company that you bought the ruck from under the bus.
No,
I'm not. But I will tell you, buy a Mystery Ranch, because my shit held like a fucking rock. I will tell you, go buy a Mystery Ranch if you're going to spend money on a pack.
Mystery Ranch ruck is where it's at.
It was the ticket today.
Don't buy the other really expensive $400 ruck frame.
That should hold up and work just fine.
Yeah, it's not ideal.
No, we've broken plenty of rucks training up for this.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, we'll get to that point, I guess. I don't want to jump the gun yet. But yeah, so we were good through 12 probably on the trail.
Yeah, felt fresh. Everything was great.
Everything was great. And then, so walk us through, Jason, when your legs started cramping, because we could see it happening. We could see it happening, man.
I broke first, and it's in the worst way. And anybody who's listening that's done endurance sports has probably been where I was. It's the most frustrating thing in the world, and this isn't an excuse. There's nobody to blame but me. It was either my training, my nutrition, something wasn't right. But you and I have gone 16 miles at a similar pace with no issues whatsoever. And when at mile 15 was when I came apart, and it was muscle cramping. And
we actually carried more weight on the 16 because we carried water on top
water,
of the
water, yeah,
so we were about 110, 108, 110.
Yeah, 15 miles. I started having one muscle cramped, and then you compensate your gait a little bit to to make up for it, and then other things started to cramp, and then at that point, because of my cramping, I was having to slow down my run, which meant I was running more to run the same pace. So you would run, you'd run ahead of me a little bit, and then when you stopped running, I would catch up. And man, one of those longer runs, all of a sudden I caught you, and I call it the stanky leg. It was not pretty. I just all of a sudden I started looking like a newborn fawn.
Yeah, we could see it, and Billy and I both looked at each other. We were like, "This isn't gonna be good."
Yeah, it was curtains.
And you still hung with us for a little while after that. Yet like, you were fighting through the pain as long as you possibly could.
Well, you taught me one of the biggest lessons that I've learned in endurance sports before, and that's that there's no such thing as a cramp.
It's just pain. It's just uncomfortable.
Yeah, that's just pain in your muscle, and you just keep running. It's going to go away. And obviously, there's probably a sports medicine doctor right now that's screaming at.
I guarantee.
If there's one,
go to the hospital, get an IV, and it's like, no, bro.
If there's one who's listening, but you can honestly will yourself through a cramp if you just convince your brain that it's just pain. And
it's not there. All it is pain.
Yeah, you just keep rolling, and I was able to do that for a couple of miles.
And that's huge. A couple of miles cramping out with a 100-pound pack, where every step you feel it through your leg. Like I was getting at the end, the last 2 miles, I had wobbly legs. I was like, I might not get the world record, even though I've got so much cushion right now.
Yeah, you got a ton of cushion. You were crushing it.
My knees were wobbling. I was like, I might fucking go down. And not because I'm dehydration or anything. Like my joints were just toast. They were like, we can't support an extra 100 pounds. We're not designed to do that.
How many knee surgeries?
5.
Yeah,
5 knee surgeries.
That's weird. I can't imagine why the knees were getting a little waggy.
Yeah, they were feeling a little thin.
But no, at the end of the day, Cody, who's chilling over here off camera, he and my cousin Chris, who's also one of my best friends in the world, they ran into me, and the only instructions I had for them was, I don't want for anyone to see me fail. So when you get to the finish line, congratulate Will, tell him I'm proud of him, and make sure no one waits for me, because I don't want to see anybody today. Because in my mind, I was punched out. It was done. It was over with.
Dude, but you didn't punch out. Dude, you remained unbreakable, and you finished in world record time.
Now let's talk about that.
Having fallen off pace. Yeah. Severely off pace.
I was nearly 2 miles behind you at one point. And finished 9 minutes behind you. So but like we should talk about that, because one of the I guess one of the fulcrum of this podcast is what makes people unbreakable, and it's one thing has come up a whole bunch of times, and a lot of times it's not just heart or any of the cliche bullshit that people say. It's the people that you surround yourself with, and the people that can pull you through those situations. And god damn it, man, Justin, he hooked up with me at mile 16.
Yeah, Justin Gofford.
Justin Gofford is a dude.
Shout out to Justin Gofford.
Shout out to Justin Gofford. Saved my ass. Him and there was 2 other people that I want to throw in there.
Yeah, but, shout him out.
Justin hooked up with me at mile 16. Now, to put this in perspective, I know Justin from some HUA functions, the Ruck March, and we're homies when we run into each other at the bar or at a HUA function. But I don't even have the dude's number. And he at mile 16 said, "I'm walking this in with you. 10 miles. I'm walking this in with you." And I didn't want to talk to anybody. I wanted to be left alone.
Yeah, to die out there, essentially.
Yeah, essentially, just let me die. Let me just die on my sword, and we'll do the next one. The worst part about having to accept quitting for me was that I knew that you were not going to let me live it down unless I broke your record.
Nah, yeah.
And
I would have made you go back out after this.
Yeah. I don't want to train for this again.
I'm glad you finished, because I would have made you go break the record.
Not just finished, but finished under the previous time.
Yeah.
That was big. But man, Justin saved my ass. And then about another 6 miles later, one of my best friends in the world, Joe Newthals, shows up on the course, and same thing. I figured that he was just going to come out and say hello, and he said, "No, I sent my wife to grab my truck. I'm gonna finish this thing with you." And really, just you can't quit in front of people that are important to you.
Dude, it's like surrounding yourself by positive people
100%.
that are going to keep you strong.
HUA volunteer extraordinaire, Hattie, she shows up with Pedialyte which was mega with what I had going on. So I downed a whole packet of Pedialyte, just dumped it right into my mouth and washed it down, and then filled my water bottle with another one. And if it wasn't for those 3 people, there's no way that I would have come in under the existing time. So,
dude, that's how I
just
feel.
want to give them credit, man.
When I got rocked around my late teen, if I didn't have the crew around me, who had shown up and decided that they were gonna videotape this, and all the witnesses and all those people around that, I don't make this record. Like, no matter how hard I trained, I'll come up short, guaranteed. And I put in over 600 miles in the last 4 months.
Talk about the support staff, if you will. That's a horrible way to put it. But the people that supported. I mean, of course, we had Billy.
Yeah,
Billy's one of our best friends.
Yeah, my dad.
He's ride or die.
Yeah,
your dad is your father.
Yeah,
obviously he's going to be there.
Right.
But the rest of these dudes, they weren't like.
And they spent money. They spent the money on a full marathon bib.
Yeah,
wouldn't let me buy it for them. Mm-hmm. And then went out and decided that they're going to walk with me to be witnesses and to carry the American flag or to carry a camera.
Yeah.
And they went 26.2 miles, some of them for the first time.
6 hours and change of walking. And you could see they were hurting.
Yeah, and they wouldn't quit.
Dude, they were awesome.
They
just
grinded.
So cool.
They stayed unbreakable. They lived that unbreakable motto. And that's what I love about the people around this. Like around this podcast, around this world record, around everything that happens in any of our lives, it's all surrounded by unbreakable people.
Yeah.
And so many people are like, man, my story's not unbreakable. And I'm like, bullshit, it's not, man. You're still fucking standing here.
Dude,
like, shut up and understand that you are an unbreakable human being.
What about this dude right here?
Yeah.
I mean, I see you limping, bro. Like, you weren't necessarily prepared to do this thing, and you wore the wrong goddamn shoes. I couldn't help but notice. I wasn't gonna say anything, but yeah, man. Like and Billy had to. You had to be there.
Yeah.
There was no way if you weren't there.
If you're not there, there's no
Will
way.
doesn't have what he needs.
Yeah.
That's the drive that got me through. Like, I have to do this for him. Like, it's not about me. Like, nothing about this is about me. It's about bigger and better things and the goal that he has and the brand he's building.
Dude, it's awesome, man. It's not even a brand that, like, yes, I'm essentially one of the 2 owners of the brand because of the wife, or with the wife, not because, but with the wife. But it's not like, I want to kind of get away from it being just a brand and being that, more of like, it's everybody surrounding each other. Because I don't give a shit if this makes money or not. Like, this is a hobby that I enjoy. And I enjoy it because it's making people better.
Yeah, we know that about you.
It's making people realize that they are unbreakable.
Well,
and that's what I love.
Here's what Forever Unbreakable does, in my opinion. My brief synopsis is that it takes the thing that you've done for all of us and virtually every other human being you've ever come in contact with, which is just causes them to go home and think about what they're doing in their life and go, holy shit, I got to get after it. And you've now been able to spread that to a whole bunch of other people. And now, God damn it, man! You're a world record holder.
Well,
in the Guinness book.
As soon as we get the packet approved by
it
Guinness,
doesn't matter if they've gone this thing on a technicality. You still crushed it.
Yeah, we know that we broke the record with 100 pounds, and there was no cheating whatsoever. Like, yeah, 101.4. Thank you, Cody. Cody, you want to step in and say anything? All right, Cody wants to stay off camera.
Cody wants to stay off camera.
That's okay.
I mean, really, like. Thank you, everybody, for your support. Like,
yeah, it's big.
Honestly, I'm not unbreakable without everybody being along for the ride and supporting me and cheering me on and making sure that I stay true to my word when I said I was going to go out and do something. And that, to me, is big. And Cody will be the first one to tell you. 10 years ago, I would have said this shit and never gone out and done it? Or I would have said some big ass story and never lived up to it. Right?
We talked about that last night, and I thought that was kind of interesting. That I didn't know the old Will.
Yeah,
we've been. It's funny because you're one of my best
friends. And I wasn't
friends in the
humble,
world.
dude. I used to not be humble. I used to brag and tote and like I'm the shit. But like real fact is,
let's do a little bit of that bragging because you are the shit.
I've met people, but I've met people that have now changed my look on life. And have made me so much better. And that's from that support crew that has made me a better person, a better human being. And that in turn has allowed me to go and push my body and be unbreakable. And, now I'm in debt to all those people for life. And that's one of the reasons why Hua got started. Is one of the reasons why this podcast and Forever Unbreakable is getting started is the debt that I owe those people. They need to get their stories out there because they changed my life through their stories, and constantly, like I tell both of you guys and Cody and stuff, I'm like, you guys fucking motivate me. Like, I don't motivate myself. I'm motivated through you guys and
Well, I'm
seeing
not-
what you do.
I'm not coming over here and waking you up at 3:30 in the morning to go work out.
No, that's
Just so
discipline.
you know.
That's discipline, man.
Yeah, you're right. That is
That's it.
discipline. That's not
Yeah.
motivation.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the grind we were talking about.
But motivation is like what made this record an idea. And then after it's an idea, that's the motivation part. And it's discipline.
Yeah.
So you guys give me the motivation to want to push myself. And then after that, my brain is like, the fucking rat on the spinner thing. Like, we're gonna go. And that happened today for a lot of miles.
Hamster on a wheel. was
Hamster
what
on
he
the
Yeah,
wheel. I
hamster on
think
the wheel, that's
what I was
exactly
thinking.
what I
I didn't want to
Yeah.
interrupt. It's his
Exactly.
day.
It's his show.
It's his show.
Yeah.
You guys can take the show. I don't know, man. I got nothing else to say on this episode. Just that thank you everybody for your support, man. I could not have done it without each and every one of you, and I thank you.
Thank you, man. I never thought I'd thank anyone for forcing me to carry a 100-pound backpack for 26.2 miles.
volunteered.
Actually, I think you reminded me a couple of weeks ago that this is my idea. I'm like, how do I get roped into this shit? You're like, this was your idea.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
how? What happened then?
A couple of cocktails, and you said to me, "Hey, man, have you ever looked at what world records are there for a ruck? Like, we should just look."
Yeah, I put a quarter in you, and then it was over.
Yeah, and that's where the motivation started.
Oh, man.
I feel like somebody put 50 cents in me today.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it. It was.
At the beginning, it might have even been a buck.
Yeah, we're going to talk about this a lot more, I'm sure, in the
Yeah.
future. But since we started this talking about it last night, it's good that we can come on now and say,
That we have the record. We don't have to be on here pouty faced.
mission accomplished.
Both of us. Both of us.
Oh, dude.
You don't have to go train and try and do it again.
Yeah, otherwise I would have been back at it tomorrow. I wouldn't have even given myself a day off.
So much ice cream tomorrow. Yeah, that.
Cheers.
I actually thought that one of the things that I thought about, and we mentioned this. I don't think the mics were rolling. I've had a couple of beers. I don't know, but one of the things that I thought about was, as hard as we trained, as much as we sacrificed to make this happen, I knew that if I had to tap out and I didn't come in under the existing record, that you would force me to go break your record.
Yep.
And I don't.
Yeah, we
wanna
would have done it.
Do that.
We would have done it. We would have trained all
That was actually
summer.
the worst part.
Done it at the end of the year.
God damn it! I just want to be done with this.
That's what I said
we're
to
done.
myself a few times. I was like, if you don't break it today, you've got to come back out here.
Hey, so Will,
just break it today.
what's next, man?
That's a hell of a question.
I turn the tables on you.
Yeah, I'm gonna run an ultra.
Legit.
I'm gonna start looking at 100 milers and build up to that, and that's gonna be my next big bucket. So
Love it.
here,
Right
here.
Miles.
Love it, man.
100 pounds to 100 miles.
No, yeah. Not doing them together, but the 100 miler is gonna be in with 2 little water bottles.
Yeah,
On
yeah.
a vest.
Certain things could be like whiskey and tequila, both good. Don't mix them.
So Jason, you and I have had this conversation a lot. Go ahead and say what what's next is,
God.
because you know what you have to say
Son
now.
of a bitch.
You know exactly what you have to say now.
Well, see, you're dragging me into this ultra world, so I got to do that. A couple other things, but we should probably make a whole podcast about the other ideas I have. But yeah, man, I'm a bona fide running hater. I despise everything about.
Yeah, you're a
running.
lifter, man. Just flex. Hi.
Yeah. I like to. I like to lift heavy things and.
Jacked.
Do things, throw bodies around and throw weights around. It's not my game. I despise running, but that's 100% of the reason why I'm going to run an ultra marathon.
And not just an ultra, but we're gonna run a 100 miler.
100 miles. I'm going to run 100 miles because I hate running 1 mile, and I think there's no greater thing that you can do for yourself and your psyche than go do something that you hate. Take
You
that
guys all
biggest
heard it
fear, the
Yep.
thing that you hate doing the most, and just pound it.
Do
So
it to a level that nobody can ever question.
that's right.
I love it. Billy is doing Ironman
Iron
next.
Man's mine next. Well, Horribly
September.
Hilly, I think, is going to be the
Ooh,
next
yeah,
week.
we
I
both-
didn't want to bring that
3
one
weeks
up.
out. 3 weeks out.
3 weeks out. Horribly
3 weeks
Hilly.
out, we're gonna pedal up and down a bunch of hills for 150 to 200 clicks.
So that's next. But
Ouch.
next goal is Iron Man. Finish it.
Yeah.
So glad I don't have a
September
bike right now.
9th.
September 9th, Madison.
Yeah, we'd be talking into that shit. I've got an extra bike. We've got extra bikes.
If not, he can find you. And he found one for me like that. It's just like,
Oh,
No
hey man,
hesitation.
thank both of you guys. I Will
Likewise,
for
thank you
dragging me
both.
along on this journey. Billy for hooking us up today and being such a great supporter, for running back nutrition to me when I had tapped out, and I thought that the race was over for me, and this guy comes running backwards on the course. I don't know how many miles he had to run back to find me, but and hooked me up. So this has been awesome. And Will, congratulations, brother.
Thanks, man. Congrats to you, man. It's been a dream we've been holding on to for a long time. It was so fun to champagne shower your ass.
That was good. It was good. All right, man. I love you. I don't want to be all sentimental on this podcast, but I love you guys and everything that you bring into my life, and I appreciate it very much.
Start tearing up again, like coming
I was a big bitch at the finish line.
Oh,
Good
I
God,
was in tears.
there's cameras rolling. I can't wait till that footage comes out. Christ.
Raw emotion, man. Though
Raw emotion.
That's it.
All right, everybody. We left you thinking that we were going to end the episode, but we're back now with part 3 of Post World Record after talking about over the last couple of days some of our emotions and things. We thought it'd be best to record another one a couple of days later. So Jason and I are back together here. We're without Billy or Cody on this episode, or this portion of the episode. And the other thing that I'm going to try and include in here probably at the very end is some videos of from the event. So if you want to rewatch some of those, you can. They'll be at the tail end of this episode, I'm thinking. And that all depends on my editing skills and making sure I can still get it out by Monday. But
C-.
yeah, no, exactly. Dude, I'm horrible at stuff. No programming skills. So we wanted to kind of tell you guys what's happened, I guess, over the last few days. So Fourth Hua blew up. We gained several hundred likes on Facebook. Shares all around the world. I heard reach in Hawaii and reach all over the United States. So it's pretty crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
Something that we thought was going to generally stay local, maybe get some small coverage outside of the local area, but not really expand past the borders of the state for the most part.
Yeah.
And I got people. We had the Bob and Tom show, the Bobby Bones show, talking about the world record stuff days after the event. Like, it's crazy. I mean, you even punched the stuff into Google and it was just like,
Yeah, that
just
was
a
great.
stack of stuff
I
from
fired off a Snapchat to Will. I Googled his name, and all of a sudden, the results are very different than they used to be.
Yeah,
it's
it's crazy.
All kinds of world record stuff. So, man, you're overnight famous, man.
Yeah, and it's still not even officialized.
15 minutes of fame.
You know, it's still not even officialized. I'm hoping by next week, Friday, to be able to say that it's official. And we've got other Nate Stewart from Channel 5 just contacted me yesterday about doing another story for next week, Friday. So still like a week and a half out, and there's still going to be media coverage on the world record and the organization because of it. So the one thing that I want to say is, like, if you've got an idea about raising money that you think is crazy or might not
Stupid,
work,
maybe, or
like, do it, like, because it didn't matter whether we achieved the world record time or not. We were going to raise a boatload of money, and that's what mattered the most. You know, when you look at it, like, this all started to raise a bunch of money, and we did that. So,
yeah,
like,
you know what, man? I think it does matter, though. I mean, I think it really matters. I think the fact that you're successful makes all the difference in the world. I know, I pushed it out to a lot of people that weren't from the area, and it was there wasn't a ton of buzz with some of my friends that live elsewhere, and people that I know from other walks of life, my other hobbies, if you will. And after I had a chance to check in with everybody and say, hey, it happened, success, mission accomplished, we got it done, and all of a sudden people start becoming even more interested because they, everybody likes a winner.
Dude, they all do, man. But and that it kind of makes me wonder. One of the things that I've asked myself over the last couple of days is, what if I didn't break it? Like, what if I didn't break it? Would any of this media attention have happened to the level it did? And would Hua be where it's at today because of it?
Hey,
so you bring up a good point, like, because everybody likes a winner, but through failure comes greater success. Because if we didn't make it, what would have happened?
I got good news for you, man. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
We
would have gone back.
We never have to think about it again. You and I talked about that this morning on our run. When I was saying if I knew in my heart that had I failed, had if I wouldn't have been able to pull it back together, I knew that you would never let me rest until I came back and broke your record, and I don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
So, I probably said that last time we were drinking. But yeah, that's the good news. We don't have to think about it. It's over. It's done.
Yeah.
Next.
No, and it feels so good to be looking at next. And when you guys watch this episode on Monday, so it's Wednesday right now, Wednesday the 23rd of May, 2018. And when you guys watch this episode on Monday, we will have officially signed up for the 100-miler that we're going to do. We're going to do the Antelope Canyon 100-miler on March 10th. We got Justin Lane is already committing to it. So anybody out there that's listening to this episode, we're already registered. If you want to come run 100 miles with us, invite is wide open.
Hey man, beautiful,
We'd love
beautiful,
to have more people.
Beautiful, picturesque Page, Arizona. It's gorgeous up there.
It's gonna. I can't wait. It looks so beautiful. Like that horseshoe bend and stuff is like this super famous thing, and we're gonna get to share a part of that as a part of one of the struggles that will, potentially we'll find a breaking point in our bodies and learn to get even more mentally tough. It's inevitable that at some point during 100 miles, just like during the 100-pound ruck, we knew that at some point we were going to break.
Yeah, and we sure did.
Yeah, and the one thing that I know that we talked about numerous times before that we were super excited about was finding that point.
Yeah.
Because when you find the point that you break, you become stronger.
Yeah.
Like so much stronger. And like you said it perfect. You were like, after I broke and had that super slow mile where I had to take my pack off and all that stuff, I came back and I was like, all you gotta do is just another 50. You hit a 15-minute mile and you were like, oh, if I did one, I can do another.
Yeah.
Oh, I did two? Okay, now I can do another.
Do it again.
Now I got three. And now I can do another. And you were catching me. Like you were catching me. You were coming up on me at the end.
The big thing, I guess the big takeaway, and you're right, the whole idea of doing something like this is to test yourself to your limit. And in many ways, it wouldn't have been cool if it would have gone smooth and there wasn't any pain. I mean, there's no way to do something like that without pain. We knew that going in. But that finish line was so much sweeter because I suffered so badly in the middle. And man, you and I talked about this when I finally downloaded my my run on my watch and I looked at my splits. I was shocked that I wasn't slower. I would have swore that there would have been 20-minute miles in there, but I thought about it. I realized why. It was because it was so painful. I mean, I don't care what you're doing. A minute goes by really quickly when you're chilling on the sofa watching TV.
Yeah.
But a minute goes by really slowly if you're in excruciating pain. So every minute that ticked away was slow. It felt like it was taking forever. Like I wasn't getting anywhere. And I thought for sure that I was going to be hitting that finish line after the sunset, and it just wasn't going to happen. But it turned out it wasn't as slow as we thought.
Yeah, no. At one point, I thought that I was watching the world record slip away from me.
Yeah.
From mile 18, 19-ish in, I would say it started hitting me around mile 20 that I was starting to watch the world record slip away from me because I was having splits slower than the world record pace.
Yeah.
Thankfully at I think it was like mile 20, Billy did the math and we figured out, I think it was actually mile 21. Billy did the math and we figured out that I could walk at a 23-minute a mile pace and still have the world record.
Yeah. And
but
you knew it was in the can, but man, your
I had
feet were wrecked.
I had a 17-minute mile in there, 2 18-minute miles. Yeah. And during those, I was like, dude, I'm watching the world record slip out of my hands right now. And I was saying to Billy, I was like, I'm going to have to do another marathon with 100 pounds on my back. Yeah. And right now, I can't imagine doing that. I'm just right. I remember looking down at my shirt, wearing the Forever Unbreakable shirt, and I was like, you're supposed to represent Unbreakable, and you are broke. Dude. You need to find a way to get tough again. And it was powerful, being able to look at it and remember. And I had everybody's stories that has been on here before.
Absolutely.
About being unbreakable and hitting their tough spots. And I thought about those, Yeah. I thought about Charity and about Nick and all these guys, about you and Sodi, and I was like, man, Daniel and Tommy, and I was like, all these guys broke at one point and they got so much stronger, and I'm at that breaking point and I'm going to get stronger. And I was able to finish, and now I'm like, I can't wait to sign up for this 100, because I'm stronger. I'm a stronger person.
Yeah. Yeah,
I'm
mentally especially. And it's so funny you say that, man, because I had the same moment, and it actually felt really corny. At one point, it was actually because I was fighting some really nasty chafing, and my
Yeah.
pack was messing me up. So I was looking down at the straps of my pack, and I'm looking at this shirt. And at the time, now just to let you know, I was mentally in a horrible, horrible place at this point. I had already run into Chris and Cody on course. They came out to to check on me, right?
Yep.
And the only instructions I gave them, and again, I hope so this isn't redundant. I may have brought this up the last time we talked after the event, but the only instructions that I had for those guys was, when you get back to the finish line, you just make sure nobody waits for me. I don't want anyone there when I arrive, because I can't stand the thought of coming up that finish chute and having everyone watch me fail. And because that's where I was. So I was in this deep, dark, horrible place. And when I looked down and I saw the Forever Unbreakable shirt, I don't really have the same reaction you did. I wasn't like thinking about, I can't break, I got to go. Because at that point in my head, I was broken. And all I said to myself was, how dare you? How fucking dare you show up on a podcast called Forever Unbreakable, wear this goddamn shirt? You are a tap-out bitch. This is over for you. You never had it in the first place. What are you doing here? And I just wanted to walk off the course and quit.
Yeah.
And I don't know, man. It was so, I don't, that's as down on myself as I've ever been during anything that I trained that hard for.
Dude, and it's crazy, like, because when you fell off somewhere around 14 to 15 miles, and the guys were like, there's no way that he's going to keep the pack on. And I just kept telling myself, I was like, Jason, keep the pack on, man. Don't take it off. Like, I got faith, like, you're going to make it. Like, just keep gutting it, keep gutting it. And they were like, he was too broke. He can't. There's no way that he can carry the pack. And I was like, please, man, please just keep it on. Like, because it's that power. Like, eventually you are going to come back around.
Hey, man,
you just know it. And you knew it. And you did. And it was fucking awesome.
I was still upright. I still had air in my lungs. Still had a heartbeat. There was no way. I mean, there was no way. I'd have finished under the moon,
Yeah.
7 hours later, before I took that pack off. That wasn't what we signed up for. We signed up for 26.2 miles, 100 pounds, period.
No matter what it took. No matter what it took.
Nothing else. So.
And there was no way I was leaving that finish line until you were there. I was like, I'm going to stand here. I'm not going back to get him.
I know that now, brother. I know that now. But, man, at the time, I just didn't want anybody to be there, because in my head, it was going to be after the time. I was going to, I will have failed, and I just didn't want anybody to see me fail. But God damn it. What a good ending, huh?
Yeah, how good did it feel to hang the pack and have it say 100 pounds? Because
isn't that funny? Why was that?
Yeah, like, it wasn't, for me, I had more of an emotional release when I hung the weight and saw 100 pounds than I did when I actually crossed the finish line, because I was worried, even though I had nothing in my pack that could possibly lose any weight during the process. It's steel plates.
It's not like you had sand in there that could leak out or something.
Steel plates aren't going to get any lighter.
No.
So
yeah, you're right, though. That's so weird. I don't know why that was.
The finish was amazing. It was surreal. But when I hung that weight, it said 100 pounds, and I was like, yes.
Said
and I just
said 101.4, sir.
Yeah, and I just heard the crowd erupt around me. I was like, that is the moment that I will forever remember more than any other part.
Man.
Is like.
And this is why you're my brother, because I didn't really get. So when I crossed in, it took me a while to compose myself. I was a mess there for a minute. I was very emotional. And when I finally started, I finally came back around, and you looked at me and said, you want to weigh it? And I remember in my head thinking to myself, why?
Yeah.
Like, trust me. This is 100 pounds. I know because I've carried it for the last 6 hours and 36 minutes. It's 100 pounds, sir. There's no...
Steel plates. There's no way it could
I don't need to weigh it.
Yeah.
But I was like, whatever. It's here. Let's do it. And I don't know what that was, man. I don't know why it felt so amazing to see that 101 come up on the scale, because it was just like... I think it was just... Here's what I think. I actually told you afterward that it didn't seem real. It didn't seem like I clicked off those miles. I actually joked with you about it. I said, I think I cut the course. I think I shaved off 10 miles and when nobody was looking. Because the feat was hard. I mean, it was really, really difficult. And, I'm a pretty humble guy. And, I believed I could do it going into it. But there's something about the reality of it that just changes everything about your perception. And also realizing, like, at mile 5, how bad it hurt already. Yeah. So I think it was a combination. I think it's the same mentality, hanging that pack up and just seeing that one-on-one and being like, this isn't in my head. This is real. This shit is real. It's happened.
It's so crazy.
But I want to talk to you about that too, man. Like, where's your head right now? Like, you and I have talked about this thing a lot, man.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're a couple of fucking darks, dude. We've called each other like 9 times, be like, hey, bro, can you believe that shit?
Yeah.
we did it. But like, you've had a couple days to have it sink in, man. And we already booked the next next attempt, and we're moving on for sure. I mean, shit, we worked out the last 2 days in a row, ran this morning.
Yeah. I mean, we were back at it.
Back to the grind.
We
But
had 30 hours off from finish to starting a workout, 30 to 36 hours, somewhere in there.
yeah,
So
roughly. So, I mean, where's your head? Has it sunk in, worn off, gotten more intense? I mean, how you feeling?
it hasn't sunk in at all.
I didn't think so,
Like,
yeah.
to me, it doesn't seem real that I broke the record. Like, it doesn't seem like the 17 months of journey is over. Like, I feel like I still have to go out and just do more. Like, that it just, like, a world record wasn't broken. It was just, it almost seems like it was another day.
Feels like a personal goal.
Yeah, it's exactly what it feels like. It's a personal goal, which is crazy. Like, it doesn't make sense to me. I expected it to sink in right away and, like, be like, yeah, I'm a world record holder. Like, look at me, I'm the man. But it's like, to me, it hasn't sunk in. The thing that has actually blown me away the most, and it's blown you away just as much, because like your buddy Joe going out running. We got Justin out running now.
Yeah,
Signed up
this
for-
morning.
He already signed up for a marathon. He's like, I got home and I signed up for the Fox Days.
Yeah, man. Everybody, if you're listening to this, you heard the second part of the podcast already when I talked about Justin pulling me in and really being my wingman for the second half of the race, or for the end of the race rather, when I was really in a bad place. And on the course, he told me when we were on the course, he said, this is something to the effect of, this is some inspirational shit, man, and tells me that I got to get off the couch and get back to doing some of this stuff that where I can feel good about myself. And he told me when we were out on the course that he was going to sign up for a marathon. But you and I both know that a lot of people say things and they talk, and Justin.
Dude, tons of people said they were going to sign up for different stuff.
Yeah.
During the race, like,
Justin's a man of his
during the
word.
race.
I can tell. I don't know the guy that well, but I could tell. I know that about him anyway. But the people get caught up in emotions and they say things.
Yeah.
But God damn it, as true to his word, the following day, not only did he sign up for a marathon, but that dude showed up at 5 o'clock in the morning before work and knocked out 5 miles with us today.
Yeah, all in the training zone, like, and I've received, and I know you've received numerous compliments and kudos and thank yous, but I've also received tons of screenshots of people that have signed up for anything from a 5K to a half marathon to a full marathon to a Tough Mudder, a Spartan race, and that's the thing that's like hit me the most is like what we did truly changed some people's lives to be healthier and better.
That's what you want to do here. That's
Yeah.
what made you start this whole program. I mean, I think anybody that knows you personally definitely knows that you never started Forever Unbreakable so you could make money. Let's face it. There's probably much easier and much more profitable ways to go about making a living.
man.
So it was
It's
never
just to
about that. You just
inspire
wanted to
people.
inspire people, and I don't think either one of us ever thought that this would reach the point that it's at now so quickly.
Yeah, no, it's crazy to me, and that's all the support that I've had around me, that you've had around you, that's constantly there, constantly supporting our dreams and our goals, cheering us on.
Yeah, man.
And things like that. That it's remarkable. I mean, Billy's brother Brian Pinebrook just messaged me today and was like, "Will, I want to change. Like, I want to get after some of this stuff." And I was like, "What are you thinking?" And he's like, "Well, I want to buy a bike, but I also want to sign up for a half marathon." And I was like, "Well, what are you thinking for a half?" And he's like, "Well, I heard you guys are going out to do this Antelope 100, and they have a half marathon there." And I was like, "Dude, it opens in 2 days. You won't sign up." And he's like, "I'm going to sign up." And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's start running. Like, let's go out. Let's go and let's get after some, even if we got to run a quarter mile the first time, or like Nick said when he was on here, his block was 1/10 of a mile. He had to sit down 4 times to get around the block.
Yeah.
But he started there, and then he got all the way up to a mile, 2 miles, 3 miles. Like, you got to start somewhere. Start at whatever your capability is, and just keep improving on it and want it. Pick that dream and go out and get it. And it's so inspiring. Like, I'm more inspired by others than I am myself.
100%.
And that's what I keep thinking about when I look back at the record. I'm like, breaking the record hasn't hit home at all.
Yeah.
But the inspiration it's provided others is definitely hitting home, and it makes me so proud.
Yeah.
Like, it makes me so happy. If that's what it takes, like, then sign me up for the next stupid thing so that I can go and continue to have this insane, awesome feeling from knowing that I'm helping others.
Yeah, it's a
improve their
rush.
lives.
It's
like,
a rush.
It's so awesome. Like, talk about your buddy Joe, like, and the difference that he's making already.
Yeah, man. You know, Joe, and that's actually kind of a good segue into something that you and I talk about a whole bunch, and I don't think that we've really brought it up on the podcast. Just because of our individual interests, or, you know, I should say our each of our interests in a common theme, a lot of this stuff and a lot of these changes that people make in their lives tend to be physical ones. They tend to be, you know, they sign up for a marathon, they get themselves back in shape, they lose some weight, they get into some sort of athletic endeavor that makes them feel good. But the truth of the matter is, that's not really what we're all about. And, you know, you and I have had this conversation plenty of times, and I think it's important to get it out there now. We believe in athletics, endurance events, competition as a catalyst for changing other things in your life.
Exactly.
And I know
100%.
I know for me, you know, finishing this marathon under record time was a huge personal achievement for me, but it carries into other parts of my life. And, you know, going out and finding something like this and just punching it in the throat makes you believe that you can achieve other things. So for anybody that's listening that's like, you know, man, I don't care, I have no desire to run a marathon, it doesn't make any difference to me. You might not, but you can be the best fucking dad on the planet. Or you can decide that you're finally going to stop complaining about shit that you can't control at work and being part of the gossip train, and completely change that about yourself and be more successful at your career. Whatever that might be. This isn't all about running marathons. That's the one thing I want to get across. And
super important. I'm glad you brought that up.
Yeah, man, because we talk about it a lot. You know,
we're in the marathon train. Like, it's super important that you brought up that it's so much more, because all you're doing is finding a way to be mentally healthier.
Yes.
You know,
yes.
and through whatever means that is, if that's going out and saying that, you know what, I do hate my job, but look at it, you hate it potentially because you're in a grind complaining about it all the time.
Yes.
Going home with negative attitudes. If you just walk in the door positive and start to change the day positively, the people around you are going to turn positive, and you're going to start to like your job, that same exact job.
Yeah, there's nothing fun about running a marathon, especially with a pack, but there's something to be said about, I guess I'm going to call it the starting line attitude. When everything is in front of you and you're mentally just ready to go out and smash it. And if you apply that same logic to the rest of your life, you know, it's going to go well for you. And what made me think of that is you brought up Joe. Joe Newthals, man, this guy he's like a brother to me. I mean, him and I have known each other for a long time. He's one of my best friends in the world. And this is, I had this funny conversation with him following the gala, his first exposure to Hua, and you, and also Dan Prigge, who agreed today to be on the podcast. I'm super pumped about that. That's coming up. We'll talk about that later. Rob Jones, our keynote speaker, who, you know, lost both of his legs in an IED blast in Afghanistan. And he said to me afterward, how is it that you always manage to surround yourself with all of these people? Where the fuck do you find them?
Yeah.
How is it that you're surrounded by all these people who are just overcoming odds, achieving and crushing life? And the question was so bizarre to me, because I've known this guy longer than I've known you, longer than I've known any one of those people. And he's one of those people in my life who's just disciplined, doing everything right, super impressive. In every facet of his life, he's got everything wired. And I look up to him so much. He's always been a role model to me. But for whatever reason, he didn't put himself in that same category. He's looking at me and saying, like, well, how do you surround yourself with these people? And I'm laughing. I'm like, yeah, I do.
I was one of them.
I was doing this back when we met. But the thing with Joe is he's never prioritized his own health. And you know, he's never been competitive when it comes to, you know, anything outside of high school sports. After he graduated high school, the only thing he's really been hyper competitive at was motorcycle racing, which he was phenomenal at. But in terms of fitness, sports, he just kind of after high school, he just lost it. Well, we were chilling last night and talking about that part of it. And one of the things that I brought up to him was, you know, he said for him, the reason that the rest of his life is squared away is because he's always about that career, always about that retirement, being responsible with his money, putting things away, making sure that he's living a good life, and he's providing for not only himself, but now his wife, now that he's married. And I said, man, I get what you're saying. I understand that 401k matters, but it doesn't matter if you die when you're 66 years old from a heart attack because you neglected the vessel that you live your whole life in.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, man, that's true. So the most impressive thing for him about that whole story and the fact that he was so motivated by Forever Unbreakable and by Hua, and he's out there doing big things. We're checking his Strava, man. He's putting in those miles. He gets a little faster every day and goes a little further every day, and it's impressive.
Now he's being held accountable.
Yeah, that's the guy who had the rest of his life together. He had everything else squared away. His whole his finances, his home, his relationships, all that stuff was dialed, but he had that one missing link. So this is really about filling in that missing link. It doesn't do you any good. Dude, I don't care if you can run a 2.5-hour marathon. If the rest of your life is a big shit show, then those are the things you need to work on and pull together.
Yeah, no, exactly. Dude, and that's like driving the nail in right there. Because you gotta get the whole package. You gotta find balance in life and put the whole package together. And is that balance is so important. And I think I'm super fortunate to have found it at the age that I found the balance, with my wife and everything like that. And
I don't know how to tell you this, bro, but you don't know anything about balance. There is no balance. It's every single thing in your life is just turned up to 11. That's the way
balance.
it is.
That's balance.
I guess it's balanced.
I'm balanced at 11. If I keep everything up at the top level,
it's all wide open. That's what matters.
But it's just fun. Like
I'm with you.
Like we talked about, you can't. We always talk about we're training super hard, right? Like there's days where I'm at the gym at 3:30 in the morning. I swim my bike. I go to work, come home, run, and then work on the charity for 2 hours, and then now editing the podcast or doing something with the business. And by the time you go to bed, it's somewhere between 10 and midnight, and then back up at 3:30 in the morning to do the same thing again, right? But we always say don't forget to live your life. Don't forget to have fun.
What were you doing?
Mix.
What were you doing today when I showed up?
Cutting the lawn. I
mean, your chores are getting done. Life is squared away, and then that's the important part. Probably more important than even the physical part is that you have the rest of your life squared away because things can't get sacrificed for this effort.
Exactly, and you have to have fun at the same time.
Dude,
you have to have fun.
Have to. So important.
Even running, you're the guy who always says I hate running more than anything on the planet, which is why I have to do 100. I have to do 100 because I hate running so much. I have to run 100 miles. And by the end of running 100 miles, I honestly think during the training that you're going to be like, this isn't as terrible as I thought it was. Because eventually, if you do it enough, you get good at it to a point where it's like, I kind of enjoy this. And you have some beautiful scenery that you get to see on some runs that, especially once you start taking to the trail, the only way you're going to see those is running on a trail because there's no other way to use the trail.
Yeah, you're not selling me, man. I'm still not sold.
I think you're gonna like it.
Running sucks.
Either way, you've got to have fun. In today's run, we had fun during it because all we did was chit chat.
Yeah. I mean, it's the social aspect of it. I guess.
I didn't even think we were running, and all of a sudden it's 5 miles is done. We're back in the car.
Yeah, I mean, it was a relatively short run though.
Yeah.
Running it's just not my thing. It's not. But that's why I do it. I mean, you and I talked about that. Not that long ago, when I had to go out and put in a 16-miler, and that was actually the day after we did the ruck.
Yeah.
And I quit. And I hate running. I mean, I hate to run more than anybody hates anything. But the only thing that I hate much more than running is quitting. And I quit that day. And that taste was stuck in my mouth for the next week until the next weekend. I had to go out the next weekend and go smash that 16 miles because I'm like, I can't allow this to marinate any longer. It's just I need to put it to bed.
Dude, I just love that.
That's just mentality, man. That's how we live.
I gotta fix it. Boom.
When I
do
met
that shit, when I've quit at things, like quit on a run or quit during a workout, I find myself back in the gym or back on the road.
Yeah.
Fixing it that same day.
And that's your mentality, bro.
I did 10, I got 16, I got to go back and do 6 more.
Yeah, well, you always do. You always do. You never miss your miles. They're always logged. It's a different way of living. And I had the pleasure of meeting one of my personal heroes, Tim Kennedy, not that long ago.
Yeah.
And we had a conversation about that, and he calls it, he calls it living the warrior lifestyle. And he says that people simply don't understand how full your life can be if you do everything with all of those dials turned up to 11. And that means that your fitness is on point. That means that you're getting the sleep that you need. You know, he even goes so far as to say you're getting enough sex. Like every single thing in your life is just wide open throttle. And when you hit the pillow at the end of the day, and it sounds super cliche and dorky, but when you hit the pillow at the end of the day and you're just exhausted from giving everything you had, that's one of the best feelings in the world. And you know, he calls it the warrior lifestyle. You can call it whatever you want, but you know, knowing that you have physical abilities that exceed the common man, quote unquote. That sounds super egotistical, so I mean, I don't mean to put it that way, but like, and having putting in, basically it's just all about putting in more effort than everybody else, because not everybody can. Look, man, it doesn't matter what I do. We were talking about Tommy today.
Yeah.
You could put $1 million on our boy Tommy Byrne and I to race in a marathon. If you told me there was $1 million on the line to beat him in a marathon, there is nothing I can do to win that race. There's just nothing I can do, because he has a physical ability that's always going to be beyond what I have, at least at that one activity.
Yeah.
However, there's no limitation to effort. Everybody can put in the same amount of effort. So the results might not be the same, but all that really matters is that you put that effort in, you grind it out. It goes right back to mile 15, 16 when my legs cramped up and I was broken off. And I could have accepted failure, and I told you this before we even started this thing. I could have accepted failure as long as I left the course in an ambulance.
Yeah.
But I wasn't about to tap out because I just didn't feel like I needed to continue to suffer. It's all about effort. That's all I cared about. I cared about the record. I mean, I really did, man. Even though, your name was going in the book regardless, I was never on for it. I gave that thing every single thing that I had. I gave it every last drop. But what was most important to me is that I gave it everything I had. Yeah. And if that resulted in, coming in over time, then so be it. But there's no way. You just don't want to look. Leave it out there. Yeah.
No questions.
You don't want to look back there.
No question that when you finish, there was nothing left to give.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the most the most important part, is like everything you do, leave nothing left. It was funny actually. The PAO office, the Public Affairs Office for the Army, called me for an interview the day after the world record, or 2 days after, I forget. But one of the questions they asked was, they were like, as a readiness NCO in the Army, and we know numerous readiness NCOs who, talk about how busy they are and put in extra hours and all this stuff. And they're like, how do you run a nonprofit, run a business, and train for a world record than the rest of the guys? And I was like, it's simple.
By the way, full-time commitments with the Army.
Yeah, and my full-time job. They're like, how do you do the readiness job and then do all that other stuff? And I was like, it's simple. I put in more effort.
Yeah.
That's it. I just work harder than everybody else.
Yeah.
And that's.
And I see that, man. I watch you do it. It's incredible.
Dude, I see it from you as well. And it's something I see from a lot of people, that are out there really, really trying to push themselves. Like, they just put in more effort. And you can see it in a person who's doing that. So it's not that anybody can't, but it's like people tell me that they can't. And I'm like, okay, well, what do you work? When you go to work, when you get home, what's your commute? Like, let's even factor in the commute.
Yeah.
And, for me, like, I have a 2.5 hour commute round trip every day, and still getting all the stuff done.
Right.
And I'm like, all it is effort.
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to sleep a little bit less? Are you willing to work a little bit harder? Or are you the person that wants to sit down and watch TV? And if you are, that's you. That's what you enjoy. I'm not going to take that away from you.
As long as that's filling your cup, as long as that's making you feel good. If it really, really is, and you can honestly say that the person in the mirror looking back at you is 100% of who you want to be, and that involves Game of Thrones and chilling on the sofa and eating potato chips, which I was doing before we turned on the camera. So I
devoured some potato chips last night. I got sick from potato chips.
It's hard to shit anybody for that right now. Yeah. But yeah, as long as you're truly happy and that's really what you want out of your life, then game on, do your thing.
And if not, change it. Yeah. It's never too late to change. Like I tell it to people all the time. I'm like, if you don't like who you are, if you don't like the way that people look at you, change it.
Yeah. Most importantly, if you don't like what you see when you look at you.
That's the most important part. You have to be happy with yourself.
And we've been there. I mean, I've not always been the person that I want to be, and even in some time, within the next year, I'm probably gonna do something where I'm ashamed of myself, or not do something where I'm ashamed of myself.
Yeah, exactly.
Where I go, man, I didn't hold up my end of that deal.
Training for this 100, we're gonna short miles at some point.
100%.
At some point, you will be out on a 20-mile run and be like, Nope, it's cold out. I'm 6 miles deep. I'm going to call it.
Yeah, that's something that I
And then
didn't
you got
even think
to
about.
live with that. It's Wisconsin.
Yeah,
And we got to go run,
Winter training.
4 or 5 hour days in February in Wisconsin.
Yeah, man, I don't know. That winter thing, I don't participate in that anymore. So
Yeah, no, I know, Kelly boy. But it's important to live a happy life. But if you want something and you truly want it, you'll go do it.
nobody's going to give it to you.
Nobody. And that's the biggest takeaway from this. And we'll wrap this up here soon. I think I hit all
for
the
sure.
points I wanted to cover today. But
And then some,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
But just hit it. If you want it, go get it. Like nobody's gonna give it to you.
Yeah.
Put in the hard work, and
If
the
it-
prize will be worth it. It's always worth it.
If you're born in the United States with a functioning body, you've got arms and legs that work, heart in your chest that beats, brain that functions properly, you already won, man. You're 99% of the way to everything that you ever wanted. And that's the thing that bothers me the most is when I see people squandering things.
Dude,
We brought
look
up
at-
Rob Jones already.
Yeah.
There's a guy that has, everything, every excuse if he wanted to choose, if he chose to take him. And he doesn't use them. Guy's got no legs and he's knocking out 31 marathons in a month. Are you kidding?
Yeah.
We all have an
Marathon a
advantage,
day.
man. You can feel sorry for yourself, and you can feel like the world has dealt you a shitty card. And for some people, man, it has. If there's no getting around it. There's some people that just got a shitty card.
Dude, look back at your life quick, because there's a picture that you still keep on your phone. It's kind of a reminder of who you once were.
Yeah.
I mean, Jason,
Yeah.
you were fat at one time,
And I am
man.
not giving you that to put on the podcast, by
No,
the way.
but you
That's
were
for my friends and my homies and my family.
But
I was fat, bro.
At one point, you were fat.
Yeah, straight up fat.
And
Real fat.
And you fixed it.
Yeah.
I mean, and now you're ripped.
Well, but the thing for me was that it was just what I said. I had no goddamn excuses. I was gifted with a athlete's body, and a mind to push me through struggles and difficulty, and I just chose not to use it there for a while.
dude, and I was the same way, man. At one point, I was 190-ish on the PT test. Like I squeaked by.
Whoa!
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Hold the phone.
Oh yeah, way back in the day.
You were an under the wire guy.
Yeah. I barely hung on to the PT test.
When was the last time-
Always worried.
When was the last time you didn't get a 300?
I don't know. I think the last 10 were all 300s.
Nice.
So, but
Get some.
regardless, like I just made a change one day. One day I was like, "Fuck you, Will. You're a bitch. Stop being a bitch. Go be a fucking man." Excuse my language, people, but like that's the talk I had with myself. And I got up the next morning and I was like, "You're only getting here you're only getting to where you want to be one way.
Yeah.
Don't ever stop. Just hit the gas pedal this morning and don't ever slow down." And that's what I did. And,
Never turn back.
And so now that's how I live my life.
But why didn't you turn back? I mean, what you're doing was harder. You had it easy before. You managed to squeeze under. You managed to be.
Because I wanted it.
Yeah.
I was hungry. I'm still hungry. And I'm not done. And I'm never going to be done.
Yeah, but weren't you happier then when you didn't have to do all that work, all that effort?
Absolutely not.
Exactly.
And that's why, like, get hungry, stay hungry, and don't ever slow down. Just throw a brick on that gas pedal, turn that knob to 11, and try and just crank on it and find 12. Like, and that's the way, and that, to me, it's provided pure happiness. I know it's provided pure happiness to you.
100%, man.
And everybody I see it like, and it goes to not just physical or like we talked about, if you want to be the best dad, turn that dad knob to 11 and crank it. Try and get it to 12 and just be the best dad. Be there for your kid all the time. Coach their sports or whatever you got to do. Like, get out there and be a part of their lives. Don't ever miss a game. Don't ever miss a performance. Whether they're your daughter's in dance or your son's in football, like it doesn't matter.
Sure.
Go be that, or go to your job and be like, I might be the bottom guy on the totem pole, but I'm going to be the top manager in 5 years.
Right.
And I'm going to prove to you that you need to promote me in front of everybody else.
Yeah.
Because I'm going to outwork them. If they're building, let's say it's building pallets. If they're building 10 pallets, I'm going to build 20.
Right.
In the same amount of time, and I'm going to do them with better quality.
Yep.
Just go out and be the best person you can be.
Yeah. Don't be the don't be that must be nice guy. Don't be the guy that looks at other people that have the things you want and says must be nice.
Yeah, because I'm going to go right by you. Like if I'm working next to you,
I don't really care.
Watch out, because I'm going to crush you. Like I'm looking at you the whole time like, I want your job. I want the boss to come to me and say, "Hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me?" Because then I know I'm doing
because Carl
the right
is
thing.
not cutting it.
Yeah, because then I know I'm doing the right thing, because it's survival of the fittest. If you want, everybody wants to be this millionaire, right?
Yeah.
Or this billionaire or whatever. but nobody's
they
willing.
do.
Nobody's willing to put in the work.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to be a millionaire, go be one. Put in the work. Nobody's stopping you.
100%. There's I forgot who the fighter was. I wish I could remember because he deserves credit for what he said. But there was a champion UFC fighter that he was doing an interview and they were talking about the grind of being a champion, the burden of that belt,
Yeah.
and all the extra press that happens, and all the appearances, and all the autograph signing sessions, and all the things that the UFC were forcing him to do. And at one point he said, "Hey, if you want to be a world champion, you got to do world champion shit." And
a fact.
that's the thing that everybody wants to stand on top of that mountain, but Sodi sent us that picture a while back that said, "Stop trying to skip the motherfucking struggle." Like,
Yeah.
I love that shit, man. That was
It's
so good.
one of the best.
Yeah.
Speaking of Sodi, hey, don't skip the struggle. Sign up for the 100, Sodi.
Sodi,
Talking to you.
I know you're listening, bro.
Listening. Sign up for the 100. We already sent it to you. I guarantee you've looked at it. Sign up for it. Stop trying to skip the struggle.
Or get deployed. We'll be pumped for you then.
Yeah, or do that. Don't skip the struggle. Quotes from Sodi. All right, man. I think
Seems like
that's
a good spot to end it.
Yeah. All right, everybody. We're going to wrap up this episode. Not sure if I'll have some footage after this or not. So either keep watching till the end or Forever Unbreakable. We're out.
Go, Will. Yep. Right here. Hey. We're gonna. Yeah!